Yeah, there we are. Okay. Just making sure. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, yeah, we are live. All right. Hey, everybody. Prepper Nurse One here. I hope you're having a good weekend. Uh, please be decent in the chat here tonight. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. So before we jump into anything, let me just say, JJ tonight, it's not like it's a surprise. He's my number one moderator, guys. Okay, my number one moderator. I haven't made that any kind of secret for any. I've always been very honest about that. JJ is actually joining us tonight from the hospital. He had a heart attack, and he will be undergoing a triple bypass tomorrow. So, for all of you that are prayers, I would ask you to please pray for JJ. I'm going to keep him in my thoughts, of course, and just let's show him some support. And hey, Philip, how you doing tonight, buddy? Glad you're joining us. But yeah, it's not a fun thing to have to be going through. My dad went through it, and I remember when that happened. So I know he's not having a good time with that at all. So, but just wanted to put that out there ahead of time. And yet here he is, still here in the live stream tonight. So he is going to be hurting tomorrow for sure. So definitely, I know with modern medicine they can do things a whole lot better, uh, but not a whole lot of fun for him. So just wanted to put that out there to get things started. So we're going to be talking about, will Russia be going after the nuclear power plants in Ukraine? There's three different ones that they're talking about, and we're going to get into that in a minute. I did want to address a couple of things. I saw some comments um, from the video that I put up earlier today, and I knew I was going to get those comments. Okay, um, we had a box in the bunker, and we built that, and it was just more of a precaution than anything else. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now. I had somebody in the comments said, well, my brother and a buddy his were digging, like a fort in the sand, and it collapsed, and they got buried and stuff like that. I had somebody else, not today, but another time, sent me a video of these guys. They had dug this trench out, and then they had backfilled it, and then they forgot, or the guy wanted an extension, so they had to dig it back out, and it had a guy working in it, and that collapsed. Okay. What I'm digging through here in West Virginia is basically almost like concrete. All right, it is a hard packed clay. Um, this is not some soft material that, if it gets wet, all of a sudden it's going to lose its consistency and collapse. We did the center part for a reason. Okay. But it had to come out now at this point in time because we have to start blocking it up. We have to put in footers. And I did see the people that said, as far as the footers, that I should go with, uh, the rebar and hard mix or mixed concrete for that. So I definitely will take that advice because we want the stability, obviously, and it's going to be holding, 12-foot high walls. So we definitely want to make sure we're going to do that the right way. So just putting that out there ahead of time as well. But it's, there is, if I had any thought, and again, people, oh, well, you don't know, and it could collapse. And if you dug through what we dug through, folks, and you were here and you saw how it is, it ain't collapsing. I mean, it's not collapsing. So, I'm really not concerned about that part of it. I'm really not. Once we go in, is there a greater chance of a collapse if we don't make sure we're shoring stuff up and all that type of stuff? Well, then, of course, yes. But when, we get in there, and I'm not doing anything alone, I'm not doing anything without somebody here, you know, we're gonna be working on this. It's going to be obviously a project that we're going to be working on, and we're going to get things going. And as soon as we can get some block in there and get it started up, yes. And I realize, yes, it's 12 feet, so it is very deep. well over your head when you're standing in there. Trust me, I was in there yesterday. You know, um, but like I said, I appreciate people's concern. I really do. I'm not trying to belittle or mitigate anybody's concern about that. But if you folks honestly saw what we're digging through, you'd be like, oh, okay, all right, I gotcha. So, but yeah, so I'm always more of a cautious safety type of person, especially with what we're doing. And that's one of the reasons we built the box in the first place to put it in there. But we can't have the box in there and try to set footers and do it. It's just not going to work. Okay. But Robert Henderson, how thick is the top? What do you mean? How much dirt before it goes to clay? Is that what you're asking? I think that's what you're asking. Everything in West Virginia is, if you're lucky, you might have a foot or a foot and a half of dirt, if you're lucky, and then it goes straight to clay. Well, in this part where I'm at, anyway, you know. Let's see. So anyway, but just putting that out there, you know. But I definitely believe in safety first, obviously. But we're at the point that had to come out so we can do what we need to do next. And realistically, I'll be the one climbing down in there. You know what I mean? I'll be the one taking that chance, if you want to call it taking a chance. But I really don't feel as though I'm taking a chance. Yeah, the oak was definitely. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you what, pulling that out, guys, that was no easy chore. That was no easy chore. I mean, they were heavy. It was brutal. It was definitely brutal. But like I said, it's you know, threatening storms tonight. But that's it. Storms haven't happened yet. Janet said. Yeah, we've had rain off and on all day. So yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain today. Some pretty steady rain this morning, and then it's kind of been hit and miss, intermittent since then. But so yeah, but like I said, I just wanted to touch on that. And like I said, I do. I'm not. I don't want you to think that I'm being dismissive of anybody, and their concerns. That's not what I'm talking about with the bunker. But if you guys honestly, if you saw what we were digging through, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I get it." You know, and even like I said, even with that, I'm not going down in there by myself when nobody's here. So we're gonna make sure that there's somebody with me at all times if I'm going in to do what I need to do. So, but if there was any thought that there may be an issue, then I would do something. You know, but Boy Scout Jamboree, that's cool. That's cool. So, healthier health. Any thoughts on the new genetically engineered parasite vaccine for malaria infections? I actually have no knowledge of any of that, so I really can't give you an opinion on it because I haven't looked into it at all. But anything to me, and I'll make one statement on that. To me, anything engineered would give me cause for concern. Just off the top of my head. But like I said, I can't make any kind of determination on that because I haven't seen any information on that or anything like that. I have to do the research first before I actually gave an opinion. You know what I mean? Robert Henderson, just be safe. Oh, that's the game plan, Robert. I plan on being around a long time, so believe me, I'm not taking any stupid chances. That's not what I want to do at all. So, you know what? And that's a great question. A hydraulic wedge like Colin Fuzz made would cut the clay faster. Probably. Like I said, once we start digging in, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But you might need an engineer to check the bunker. No, Larry. No, there'll be nobody coming in to inspect anything. So Once we start going in, believe me, that is when real safety is going to be taking place to make sure. Literally, we're going to go in 2 feet, you know, at a time. And once we're in that 2 feet, we're going to secure it. And until that 2 foot is secure, right? Dig back at least 12 feet per side. I don't know what you're talking about, Robert. I have no idea what you're talking about. 12 feet per side of what? But anyway, like I said, moving forward, that's going to be you know, to open it up. I don't want it opened up. I don't want it bigger. That's not what we're looking to do. Like I said, again, people are not realizing what we're digging into and how tough it has been, and how brutal it has been. And when we're pulling out chunks, when you're pulling out chunks, when you break through, and you're pulling out chunks like that thick, okay, and they're solid. There's not, and we're having to break it up with a jackhammer. I don't see that collapsing. So, but that's okay. And people can have their opinions, and that's perfectly fine. And when we do it and get it done, then that'll be the end of that. You know what I mean? That will be the end of that. So, Hella's good. She's right here. She's doing well. She slept fantastic last night. She was obviously very tired, and so yeah, she gonna pop the green tea. All right, let's get into this discussion. So Russia is talking about, um, they believe, and they're looking into it right now. Okay, they believe that Ukraine targeted a Russian nuclear power plant with NATO missiles. Right, that's their claim. Don't know if it's true. Don't know if it's not true. I don't have an opinion on it. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I don't know. Okay, but this is the claim that Russia is saying, and they don't know. Russia is saying right now they don't know, but they said a nuclear power plant in Russia was targeted by Ukraine. That can be established. Okay, now if that was the case, this is what Russia is saying. If that was the case, that it was done with NATO missiles. First of all, uh, have I not said from the beginning of this whole conflict thing, why are we and other European nations supplying the material of which Ukraine is using to kill Russians, and not wonder why the Russians aren't pissed at us, right? You wonder why that would be the case. So, um, you have to think about that ahead of time. But of course, if you're just listening to our news, it's rah, 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 we're supporting this poor country that's been invaded. But if you actually really did your research on it and what was going on realistically, it would be, and I'm going to use an equivalent. If we had an agreement with, we're going to go with China just because why not? China's the second most powerful place right now. China does have the biggest navy right now, but they can't really compare to our navy at this point yet. But besides the point. So China is in the midst of expansionism, right? Can we agree on that? Yes, no, maybe. Do we believe that China is doing expansionism right now, especially in Africa, right? Correct? Yes, no, maybe. In the comments, please. So if China decided, right, hey, we're going to make this deal with Mexico, and we're going to try to put stuff on the southern border of the United States of America. You don't think that the United States of America might be a little upset about that, especially if they had this agreement? We're not going to infringe on your borders. We're not going to pull Ukraine into NATO, so that we can build on your border, right? If we had agreed to all that. Now, I'm not saying, so I don't want you to think that I'm trying to say that this is what's happening or not happening. I'm just stating information that has been put out there. And if you look at what was going on, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. So if China did that with us, we would be doing something about it. And so, essentially, that's what's happened in reverse. Uh, Russia was being infringed on by NATO, if you will, and they've said, "Hey, you know what? No, we're not tolerating this. That you've had a million and one opportunities to, not, do it, and you did it anyway, and all that type of stuff." But depends on what side you're listening to. Everybody. Here's the other part that I want to make perfectly clear. I'm not rah rah Russia. I'm not rah rah NATO, or any of that type of stuff. What I'm saying is, whatever conflict is happening, both sides are going to have a reason to justify doing what they did. Right? That's a fact. Both sides are going to have reasons to justify what they had done. So that is, that's a fact. We all know that. They want to make their side look like the good side. And, it's if you again go back to the start of World War II, the real start of World War II, when Germany invaded Poland. They used a false flag, if you will, and to this day, who knows if it was true or not true, but they said that Poland had attacked a German outpost, and so they were doing it in retaliation. But they had built up and they did a blitzkrieg into Poland, and the rest is history. But if Germany had won the war, let me ask you this. I like to jump around these things. So I want people to think. I want you to think. So that's part of what when I talk about these different things. That's why I want to put things out there so you go, I didn't think about that. So if Germany had won the war, who do you think the bad guys and the aggressors would have been? Right? Would it have been Germany? Would they have been put or painted in a bad light? Right? Probably not. Probably not so much. Right? They would have said, "Oh, here's the history, my friends. The victor writes the history." Remember one case in time where the loser has written it and said, this is what happened and this is how it really was. Nobody reads that version. Okay, so there's always justification. There's always, if Germany had won, it would be wonderful. Great, Robert. And again, you know what I mean? It's like, obviously, we all know about I don't think I killed my volume on this. Hold on a second. I will do that now. All right. Let's do that. Okay. All right. So what you're seeing in the situation is there's always going to be a justification. But I've talked about this guy so many times already in these live streams. If I was Russia, if I was Russia, and I'm being attacked by this country, or they're fighting back. Let's say this country is fighting back, but they're using weaponry that has been given to them by NATO. I would have us buffering. Are you guys hearing me okay? Because I'm not seeing anything on this end. Yeah, JJ's saying go out and come back in. If you're having buffering issues on your end, because I'm not seeing any issues here, um, sign out and then sign back in. So we got 318 in the chat. We got 132 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, guys, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. So I really, really appreciate that. Also, again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, but Karen, sign out and then sign back in. Try doing that because some people are having problems. A little better now, Delbert said. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what happens. I don't know what games are played. Maybe they don't want you to hear certain information. Who knows? I went out and YouTube made me watch a new ad. Oh my god, that's funny. That would be YouTube. That would be YouTube. So, but anyhow, you know, we're you know we're basically fighting a proxy war that has been already talked about, right? We're fighting a proxy war because we're using Ukraine's soldiers to kill Russian soldiers, but by using our weapons. I mean, you look at how many weapons we've given them already. It's a tremendous amount. The amount of money that we sent over there, same thing. So, so Nathan, sign out, leave the stream, and then come back into the stream. Try that. Hey guys, if you're having problems, if you're having any problems, sign right out, leave the stream, and then come back in. For now we are. Yeah, right. Sharon said, for now we are. Right. And I get it. But again, if I was Russia, I would be pissed about that. And if they're attacking inside of Mother Russia, and they're using weapons, you know, that were given by NATO, basically, and that's what it comes down to. It's NATO supplying them. So, Mac Mini said that worked for me. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, Jeff Ellis says, I hope it doesn't go nuclear. Me too, Jeff, because nobody wins in that situation. But Russia is what the threat right now. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of this. The title of the stream. What Russia is basically saying that if they can prove that their nuclear power plant was targeted using NATO missiles, right? Then it's on the table for them to go after Ukraine power plants, nuclear power plants, in retaliation, if you will. Okay. I mean, and here's what I honestly, guys, and I don't understand this like at all. I really, these modern wars that we fight, we're not fighting any side. Any side is not fighting to win these wars. These wars are fought to prolong them, keep them going as long as they can, so that the rich get richer. I mean, I don't get it. Realistically, let's be 100% realistic. If Russia wanted to, if Russia wanted to, they could wipe out Ukraine in a heartbeat, and not even using nuclear weapons. Realistically, okay, they could wipe out Ukraine in a heartbeat. It's just like with the United States. It's just like the United States. You look at Afghanistan. You look at the Vietnam conflict, right? I like how they call that too, a conflict. There's no way that this little bitty country with no modern technology or any of that type of stuff could ever beat us. We are fighting all these wars with one hand tied behind our back, not doing what we need to do to win, but sacrificing our young men and women, and at the end of the day, the rich got richer, poor kids died, or were maimed and mutilated and all those type of things. That's who suffers. And the population of that area, the civilian population of whatever, that type of thing. So there's a lot of these. It's grandstanding. It's games. They want to drag these things out because the longer they can drag them out, the more money that they can make. I mean, if you think about it, let's say tomorrow, and so I'm going to give a great example. I'll give you guys even a better example. Cuba, 80 miles away from America. They're this terrible, horrible communist thing, and they've been doing this forever and a day, right? And all these poor Cubans are coming over on boats to get away from the terrible, communism in Cuba. Let's be honest. Cuba is a dinky little island in reality. If we decided tomorrow, yeah, you know what? Let's take Cuba. How long realistically would it take? How long would it take? It would be in no time. We would wipe them out. But you know what they would do? They would go in and they'd play games and not let us fight a war to do what we needed to do to win. And they would drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. 90 miles? Okay, I thought it was 80. So it's just, It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, uh, this perceived enemy, this boogeyman. Let's keep America scared to death that this group of people is the new boogeyman. I'm like so beyond done with being manipulated every time. Well, that's why I gave up TV. I'll be honest with you. I gave up TV a long time ago. I mean, I haven't had a TV now in 9 years, and I don't miss it. I don't miss the nonsense, the ridiculousness that's on there, the propaganda that you're fed constantly. And if you don't think, why do you think they call TV programming? Programming. Because you're being programmed. I mean, they've shown different things, like subliminal messages can be put out with all that type of stuff. I mean, that those are facts. That's not speculation. That's not well, maybe, maybe not. Those are facts. Absolute 100% facts. Manipulation is done constantly, constantly, and so I had enough of it. What about entertainment from TV? Yeah, it's just it got to a point for me. Now I want you to think about this. You're going to take an hour of your life, right? And we all have our favorite shows. Like I love The Walking Dead. I'll be 100% honest. Love The Walking Dead. So when it comes out on Netflix, I binge watch it. But here's the weird part. When you watch it on Netflix, each episode is not an hour. It's 45 minutes. Why is it only 45 minutes? Because 15 minutes is commercials on regular TV. And you're being inundated to buy XYZ product, this product, that product, and everything else. They are showing you what their version of how they want things to be. You know what I mean? And that's reality. So you're being constantly manipulated. Let me ask you a question. And like I said, and I'm going to give you an example of something. All right. In every single race, there's good and bad, right? And not going to deny that. Not saying that all. Do I ever say all of them or all of them? Okay, but I'm going to give you a great example of something. And this was one of the things that was like a final straw for me with TV. So let me ask you this. We'll start out with this. When you see a couple on TV in a commercial, man and a woman, right? What race are the man and woman generally in these commercials? Let's do that first. We're gonna do this. We're gonna break this down very okay, real easy. So in those commercials that you see on TV, when you see a man and a woman, generally in the commercials that you see today, and for the last 10 years or longer, probably longer than that, what color is the man and what color is the woman? Let's black and white, Melissa says. Now, is it a black woman, Melissa, and a white man? Is that what you see? Are you seeing or are you seeing a black man and a white woman in these commercials? With their, and then if they have kids in the commercials, then of course the kids are mixed, right? I mean, that's so. What's the second thing that you see? Okay, in these, yeah, about half and half. Yeah, okay, but that's pushed a lot. That is pushed a lot. Okay. Second thing you're seeing a lot of times when they present black gentlemen on TV, they are suave, debonair, well spoken, right? Well spoken, speak great, dress great, in fantastic shape. That's what you're seeing. How are white men a lot of times? And I'm not saying, again, this is not all the time. This is what it's, and that's not what I'm saying. How are white men represented in a lot of these commercials, right? They're fat, dumpy, stupid, slovenly. Pay attention. Look at the commercials. Don't take my word for it. Watch the commercials and see how they're portrayed, right? Now, the question that I would have, nerdy, yep, exactly. Yep, that's another one. So that's how the white man's portrayed. Not as smart, not as intelligent, not well dressed, doesn't look good, slovenly, unkempt, right? But the reality is, and I mean, let's look at the reality is. are most, or I shouldn't even say most because it's not like that. There is a large percentage. I'll put it like that. I'll put it like that. A large percentage. How many? If God, I'm trying to figure out how to put this without sounding like a complete racist when I say it. The reality is this: a large percentage of black people are not well spoken, do not speak proper English. Okay, they don't. A lot of them don't, and that's not a racist statement. I'm not trying to be racist in any way. It's a fact. Go into any ghetto. Here's a little test for you guys. Go into any ghetto and see how they talk, and tell me then if they're suave and debonair, and they might be well dressed because they put all their money into their cars and their clothes and stuff like that. But and if you can actually go into a lot of different races, and they do that, right? They do that. A buddy of mine has a friend of his, and they have conversations all the time. And he asked him. Now his friend is black, and he asked him. He said, "Let me ask you a question." And he said, "Ask." First of all, he said, "Ask. Let me ask you a question." He said, "Do you talk to me differently than when you talk to your black friends?" And guess what the answer was? Shockingly enough, he said, "Yes, I do." He admitted it. He talked completely different to them than he did there. And again, guys, this is not just a strictly black and white thing. But if you pay attention to what goes on commercials and all that type of stuff, so when these young girls are coming up now, right? When these young girls are coming up, what are they seeing? They're seeing the white man portrayed on television. I mean, Jonah Hill. Is Jonah Hill portrayed is a very viral and well in shape and stuff like that? You look at a lot of these actors. How are they portrayed? I mean, again, it's if you pay attention, if you pay attention, you see what the agenda is, and it happens all the time. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, okay? I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care what race, what color you sleep with a person. If you love somebody, color shouldn't make a difference, but it definitely does. And I've already talked about the story. I was dating when I lived in North Carolina. I had a young lady that I had met. Uh, you know, I would have married her. I would have had children with her, and she is the one that ended the relationship because this is what she told me. She said, "Ed," she said, "you're everything I've always wanted in a man." She said, "except that you're white." She goes, "And I know you don't care what people think, and you're proud to have me on your arm. When we would go out in public, I held her hand. She's my woman, okay? I didn't care." She goes, "I can't deal with the hate that I am getting, not only from the white community, but from the black community because I'm dating a white guy." I want you to think about that, okay? So, it's and it's so stupid. It really, really is stupid to me. We should have equal footing. I honestly believe that as well. Education is absolutely key, and I will tell you what happens a lot of time. And tell me if I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, then I'm just an ignorant white man, right? If a black man goes and gets educated and speaks well, is well dressed, and actually has a brain in his head, what is he called in the black community? Well, he's Uncle Tom. He's sold out. That's what. And guys, tell me I'm wrong. I would love for you to tell me I'm wrong and that doesn't happen, but it happens all the time. So it's it's crazy to me. You know what every group of people, white, black, red, yellow, the key, the key to every whatever color you are out there is a strong father figure or a strong male role model. That's what it has to be. You know what I mean? That's what it has to be. We need strong male role models in these kids' lives to show them how it's done in the right way to do things, regardless of what color they are. And I think everybody should have an equal shot. There shouldn't be preferential treatment. Everybody should be entitled to the same kind of education. And I've said this one, I've said before, and I will say this again. If these kids have the brains, regardless of what color they are, regardless of what their, uh, you know, if they come from money or if they're poor or whatever the case may be, if they have the brains, they should be going to completely separate schools for gifted kids. You know what I mean? Anybody smart kids, and not be subjected to dealing with a bunch of nimrods, white, red, yellow, or whatever. Okay, all these kids should be in a special place for other gifted kids so they can excel. You know why? That's who we need down the road in our future to lead us, those kids. But because somebody didn't come from money, or because they don't, they can't get college funding because they're like right on that threshold. Their parents make too much money to be able to get, the money to do that. Indoctrination, Joe says. Well, it's all part of it. That's what TV programming is. So, I mean, these are things that happen continuously, and it's not going to change. I mean, yeah, JJ's talking about Ebonics. I don't know if some of you may remember this. I think it was back in the 80s that in California, the blacks wanted to have Ebonics, which was the messed up way that they butchered the English language. They wanted that to be their own special language. And it never went through. Because, again, it's just another way of keeping people ignorant and stupid, to be honest with you. Hey, Marty. Thanks for no haze and love to all. Hey, no problem, brother. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the family. Thank you very much for the donation as well. But like I said, we got to get all this nonsense put behind us and come together. And that's ultimately what I'm saying. But like I said, if you watch the commercials, you will see what their agenda is. Let me ask you this, and this is just a question, so please don't jump all over me. Do they push the gay agenda quite a bit now, right? In commercials? Do they do that? Yes or no? I'm just asking. Because, like I said, again, folks, remember, I haven't had a TV in 9 years. So I don't watch TV. Oh, people are saying, yes, they push the gay agenda. Imagine that. You know what I mean? It's just, and again, I will say this again. What two consenting adults do behind closed doors is none of my business, and I don't care. Okay? I don't want to see a homosexual couple going at it in public, just like I don't want to see a heterosexual couple going at it in public. There's a time and place for everything. It's called decorum. You know what I mean? Be with who you want to be. I don't have a problem if you're a couple and you want to hold hands out in public. That's perfectly fine. You want to have your arm around the person that you love if you're in a whatever place, that's fine. You want to have an intimate dinner and enjoy each other's company, great. Okay, but you don't need to have a T-shirt. I'm going to give you an example of something. Again, I know I've talked about this before. I worked for back in the day, just many moons ago, Monroe Developmental Center. Okay, working with the mentally retarded people, and so after I'd worked there a while, somebody had said to me, Ed, man, can I ask you a question? And I go, yeah, sure. I go, what's up? He goes, you ever notice that the staffing, there's so many gays and lesbians, working with the retarded people? They go, how come the percentage is so high? I go, dude, that's easy. And he goes, what? Why? Why do you think it is? I said, it's very simple. Retarded people don't judge. They don't care if you're gay or you're straight or whatever. So there's a large percentage of people that work in that field that are gay because the mentally retarded people don't care. They don't care, right? They don't care. But my problem that I had, and I had a lady that I worked with, and she would wear this T-shirt that said, "I'm not gay, but my girlfriend is." Unnecessary to me. I'm not walking around with a big shirt that said, "Hey, I'm heterosexual and I'm proud." You know, most gay people are very caring too. Yes, you'll see a lot of that. Yes, not all, but yes, again, there's a large percentage that are. I had made comment before, and I talked about how there's a lot of alcoholism and drug abuse in the gay community, and I talked about that. And somebody said, "Well, it's because of their lifestyle choices." I want you to think about and put yourself in this situation because of your partner, who you chose to be with, to have your family completely ostracize you and kick you out, and you're not accepted in this family anymore. These are the people, remember too, that are supposed to love and care about you unconditionally, and they have turned their back onto you. You don't think that those people deal with a lot of guilt, um, the hatred from their own family, right? So put yourself in their position. So you wonder why there's a lot of that alcoholism and drug abuse in the gay community. That's that's why, because their family. A lot of families turn their back on them. Again, like my children, I love my children to death. I love them unconditionally. So if my daughter came to me tomorrow and said, "Dad, I've decided I'm a full blown lesbian and I'm going to be in a relationship with a woman," you know what my big concern would be? Number one is safety. That would be my big concern. And my second concern would be, are they good to you? Do they treat you well? Is the partner, is the person you're choosing to spend your time with, are they good to you? That's what I would care about, folks. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care other than that. I mean, safety for my child is always going to be my number one concern. Okay. But I honestly believe unconditional love is unconditional love. That that child is my child forever and ever and ever, no matter what. And I will never turn my back on my child, for something that they had no control over. And that's just me. That's just me. You guys can do whatever you want to do. If you want to hide behind a book and cast judgment down on people, I will judge thee. Right? Go ahead. I don't care. But who's more? I was gonna say who's more compassionate and caring, right? The parent that loves their child no matter what. Somebody had actually put in a thing: hate the sin, but love the sinner, right? And I think that was a good thing. You don't have to agree with their lifestyle choices. You don't, but you can still love your child and you can still care about your child regardless of who they're with. And that's just my take on it. Like I said, again, you guys can do whatever you want to do, but respect, dignity, you know, that's what it should be about. But yeah, there's another one. Bubba one just said, dogs and cat don't care. Unconditional love. Right. Dogs and cats, they could care less what you are. They love you no matter. You can beat your dog, and that dog will still come to you and want love because it's that loyalty, you know. Um, Now, I don't like people that beat on their animals. That's just me. My animals are part of my family. That's kind of how I am. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times you can tell a character of a person the way they treat animals. That's another thing. You absolutely, if somebody is abusive to animals, that's really not a person that I want to be around. Because if they do that, and here's another thing, I'm gonna listen, like with her judgment on people, I'm gonna listen to that too. So because animals can sense things more so than the average person couldn't figure it out. Yeah, or the way kids or animals respond to a person. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So, but beating my dog would be a bad idea. He's huge. But the worst part is, beef and chicken. He would take it because you're his owner. If you're his owner, like hella, German shepherds, folks. Just so you know, and I know I'm probably a lot of people out there have had German shepherds. You don't decide that this is my pet. They decide. So if you got a family of four, let's say you got husband, wife, two kids, that dog is going to make the decision of who their owner is. So, oh, how's the bees with no suit on? And I thought, I'm going to tell you, when I did that, I said, I'm going to get all kinds of comments about that because I did it with no gear on. So let me give you some hints of a couple things, right? with the bees. I did go to the beehive with no suit on. Took the top off, was checking things out, looking in there, seeing what was going on. Um, I did it at dusk. Number one, bees are calmer. It was later in the evening, so they were definitely calmer. They were settling in, if you will, for the night. Ed, when you get livestock, would you get livestock guard dogs for their protection? Actually, what I would do if I have like goats or if I had cows or anything like that, Sharon, what I would actually have is I would get a donkey because a donkey will protect the smaller animals. They'll kill coyotes and everything like that. So yeah, they will. But yeah. So okay, yes, I'm seeing it. It is egg count time. Do you know why people paint their hives different colors? Is it to attract things? No, it's just you need to paint your hives just because it's better. Do you still have the queen bee? I believe so. I haven't seen any indication that she's not there. Um, Even though they weren't doing a lot of activity in the third box. And we're going to do egg count in just a second. I just want to talk about this. There wasn't a lot of activity in that third box, but a couple things happened, right? I moved out. I want you to think about this. I moved out the full trays from the center and put them on the outside and put the less full trays in the center. So what does that force them to do? It forces them to work on those center ones again and get them back to where they need to be. So they have to fill in those other two boxes truly before they can get up into that third box and start working on that third box. So that's one of the things, for that reason. The other thing is I cut their sugar water off because my mentor, the guy that I am getting my advice from and listening to, he said now that you have the third box on, don't feed them any more sugar water because you don't want that honey in that third box to be sugar water honey. It's okay that they had sugar water honey in the lower two boxes, but they need to start eating that and replacing it. You got to keep giving them work to do. So that's what that's about. If they fill that third box this year with honey, great. If they don't, that's okay too. So that's kind of why I'll do that. So, all right, we're going to do egg count and we'll go back into this discussion a little bit more about the bees. So, how many eggs today? And the yes or no for Miss Thickneck is starting now. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses up, and we will go from there. So give you some time here to get your guesses. All right, I knew this was going to happen. I have not seen a correct answer yet. I've not seen a correct answer yet. So I'm going to give you one more opportunity to re-guess, and we'll see if you guys can come up with a correct answer. Give you guys a moment to get your next guesses, and we will go from there. See, I knew I had a feeling that this was going to happen tonight. So, and that's okay. Chickens like to throw us for a loop once in a while and change things up. I'll tell you this. Becky was gone for a week, and I don't know if Heather gives them as many mealworms as normal that Becky gives them. So that could be a reason for today. But Viking Prepper came up with a correct guess when he said 3 eggs in no. So Viking, and then he changed it to 0 and no. But when he put the 3 eggs in no, that was the correct guess. So congratulations, Viking Prepper. Uh, you won nothing, and you'll be happy. Right? You own nothing and be happy. You guessed right, and you get nothing, and you'll be happy. So congratulations to Viking Prepper. Yeah, only 3 eggs today, and this thick neck did not lay. And I think it was because, again, you know, maybe Heather, she does what she's got to do with the birds, but she's not really into the birds, and Becky's really into the birds. So, you know, Larry, honestly, I have not been riding because my foot. So, what I really need to do, honestly, is try to just take a few days and do absolutely nothing, and see if my foot gets better. It has been sore. Today it felt better. I'll be honest with you. It didn't hurt as much, but I was pretty gingerly on it today. I'll be honest with you as well. Um, I did go down into the bunker yesterday, and I did misstep in the bunker, and it was soak it in Epsom salt. Okay, I'm gonna have to go get some Epsom salts, and maybe I'll go out and get some tomorrow. Uh, but so when I definitely heard it when I was down in the bunker, and I was like, and it was funny because Ronnie was like, "All right," you say, "All right, come out of the bunker, come out of there, man." And I'm like, "Well, no." He's like, "Nope, nope, nope." He goes, "Get out of the bunker." He goes, "Before you hurt yourself any worse." But yeah, I just, I can't ask my people to do something that I won't not willing to do myself, and that's kind of how I feel. Um, it's nothing to do with the arch, Larry. It's nothing to do with the arch. It's the top of the foot. I probably pulled a muscle. What you have to understand from the very beginning of this, when it happened, there was no bruising, there was no swelling. My foot has never swollen up. There's been no bruising on my foot. It is the absolute top. If you don't mind seeing my nasty feet, I will show you where. So, hold on. I'll just do this. This will be easier. What hurts is right through this part right here on my foot. Okay? So, that is the part. And I hope you liked my very white legs as well. But that's the part that hurts. So, it's not underneath my foot that's bothering me, it's the top of it. So, pretty white, huh? Once you get past the upper half, it's usually pretty tan. You're getting old. Thanks, Peter. That's really helpful. All right, I'll try the Epsom salts, but it was very white. Hey, Mini Mac. From the waist up, looking Puerto Rican, right? From the waist down, looking like a white man. But I do have Spanish in me, so, and I have German, so that's where the dark, where I tan very very well, and I get dark. So, but see, I'm mixed race. I'm two different race. I'm going to tell you what. My daughter took a picture one year. All right, and we had gone up to Letchworth State Park, and you're going to love this one too. Took this picture, and then she showed it to me. She's like, "Oh my God, Dad!" She goes, "People are going to think this picture was photoshopped." I had swim trunks on, and from the waist down, white. I mean, absolutely white. But from the waist up, because I always have my shirt off and I'm always outside and I'm always doing something, I was so dark. That particular year, I was really, really dark, my upper half of my body. But my legs were completely white. And she had taken that picture, and it looked, if you looked at the picture, it looked like it was photoshopped. But, and I just think that's funny. Guess what? I don't care. You could have fractured a small bone. Possibly, but you would think if you fractured something, you would have swelling. You would have bruising. I never had any swelling or bruising on that. Yeah, no speedos. No, no, no banana hammock for me. I just for people, yeah, people that do that, to each their own. But all right, so got off the rails here, of course. White and chicken legs. No, my legs are pretty solid. They're not chicken legs, but they're very white. Yeah, when you get older, the body hurts 100% more. Yeah, I know. It's not fun, and when you hurt yourself, it takes long. That's actually one of the things. that Steve had said. He goes, this last one here, when he hurt himself, he goes, this last one, it's healing a lot slower. He goes, and it's not fun. I said, yeah, no kidding. Because we're the same age, so I always joke around with him. And I said, well, you're not getting any younger. And he goes, well, you'll always be older than me. So I said, well, that's true. By 9 days. So, but anyway, I stepped on broken glass today. It wasn't that bad. Well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Not fun though, I'm sure. Ed, when you get old, the body hurts for no reason. Yeah, right. Or you hurt for no reason. Yeah. Hey, it happens. What are you going to do? Like I said, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to baby it, give it some rest. Uh, so we'll see how it goes. But Miller Lite for pain. Oh my God, that's funny. I do not drink light beer. I will not drink light beer. No, no, thank you. So anyway, folks, getting back to the situation with Russia, let's talk about that a little bit more. You know, keep watching the propaganda, keep watching what you're being fed on TV, and don't look at things analytically, don't do the research. And Russia's the bad guy all the way 100%. But if you were sitting in Russia and your country was being bombed by bombs that were made in the UK and in the United States, German tanks were being used against you, all these weapons that were being used against you. Now, it's not gout. I don't have any of the other symptoms with gout. I don't have any of the predisposing factors with that either. So it's definitely not gout. I know you're saying it to bust my balls, Mac, but no. But broke my little toe, but they're like ribs the whole lot. Not a whole lot you can do. Right, exactly. So I have to let it heal, and that's all I can do. So, but anyhow, Russia is basically saying that if they can prove that NATO weapons were used to attack their nuclear power plant. Now, I'm not saying it was attacked at all. I'm not saying that it was attacked at all. This is what Russia is saying. They're saying that their nuclear power plant was attacked by Ukraine, and if they can prove that NATO weapons were used, then they're saying that they're going to go after power plants in the Ukraine. That's what they're saying. So, I mean, you have to look at it realistically. What would you do? What would be okay and what's not okay? So this is what I don't get with war, right? Isn't war supposed to be you do what you got to do to win, right? I mean, if it was me and I was Russia, Ukraine would have been in the dark from day one. The entire country. There would be, and then as soon as they tried to fix anything, I'd bomb it again and blow it up again so that they couldn't have power. You know, that's my thing. I don't get this fighting wars and doing all this type of stuff with, you know, being, babying, and they would have no internet. They would be jammed. You know what I mean? I don't get any of it. I really don't. Because if I'm in a war and I'm fighting a war, I'm fighting to win. But the powers that be don't make money if you win. If you win too quick and the war's over with, right? Which should be the ideal thing that you want, which should be the ideal thing. Um, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't get it. I don't believe any of them. Yeah, I hear you, Don. Like I said again, question everything. That's always what I'm going to tell you guys. Question everything. Don't just take it for face value. Even guys like me, and that's why. What do I say? What do I say all the time? Don't just believe everything I say out of hand. Do the research. And I'll tell you what, I have come on this channel and I have been wrong before, right? And I'm the first one to admit, hey, I got to say it. I was wrong. I said this, that, or that, and it wasn't right information. So I come back and I'll tell people, hey, I made a mistake and I screwed up. And I think that's what we should do. But again, if you do your research and you look into things on your own and just don't believe everything that you are told, that's what you should do. But they don't want you to do that. Yeah, critical thinking. Yeah, right. Yeah, we all need to do it. We absolutely do. Awesome sauce. You're correct on that, 100%. If more people did critical thinking, a lot of the crap that they pull would not be getting. They wouldn't be getting away with it. You know, they wouldn't be getting away with it because people would be like, "Hey, wait a minute, no, that." I mean, these politicians will lie straight in your face, and then when they get caught lying straight in your face, they have an excuse for everything. They have an excuse for everything. They have a reason why. Oh well, I didn't know. It's ridiculous, and people give them a pass. They give them a pass. So no, my kids were raised that same way. Question everything, look into it. Just don't believe everything out of hand. Uh, you know, we're not always given, you know, the truth. And then again, when you question what the truth is, and you're told that you're a liar, that you're an anti this or an anti that, or you hate your country because you're not going along with the rah 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 and let's go get them attitude. That's you know, yeah, suppose they had a war and nobody showed up. Exactly. But there will always be somebody to show up. And I'm going to go back something real quick, and then we're going to do shout outs here in just a second. When I came out of basic training at 19 years old, I was gung ho. Um, they break you down, they build you back up the way that they want you to be. I was ready to do whatever they told me to do without question because that's what they want. That's what they want. Okay. As you get older and you get a little maturity to you, and you start actually looking and going, hey, wait a minute, that don't seem quite right. That's what they don't want. They don't want you to do that. They just want you to go along to get along and not cause any problems. So, anyway, just something to think about. So, all right. So, first of all, we're going to start out with shout outs. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so, please, to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It does make a big difference with the algorithm, so as more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. So, all right. So we have Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy. I would ask you to support him. Again, he's more than 3 hours north of Toronto. So he is way, way up in Canada. You have Angry Prepper, and that is Jason. Another really good guy down in New York City, doing his thing down there. You have Alaska Prepper, and that's Rudy. Another good guy, like his channel a lot of good information there as well. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Two different channels, same guy. A lot of good information with him as far as like building, living off grid and doing that and growing and everything else. Unbelievable to watch him build and do what he's doing. Really, really talented individual. There is Demcad. I like him a lot as well. A lot of good information with him. There is Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen, 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Biz Rizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, another good channel, good story. Definitely something you should be listening to. A lot of good information in that. Let's see, you have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle, and like their channel a lot as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, that is Cody. He's been around a long time, has a really good channel. Definitely check him out as well. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily over in Europe doing her thing over there. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota. They live off grid. Nice young couple up there. and I really like what they're doing. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska, but a lot of good information can be picked up from their channel. There is Green Greg's, another good, lot of good information with him. Really good grower as well, so he has that information, but he has other information that he shares as well. Southern Prepper One, doing his Boots on the Ground series. A lot of good stuff with his channel as well. He's been prepping for a long, long time. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There's Doug and Stacy, another great channel. They've been around a long time. Definitely check them out and listen to what they have to say. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there living off grid in Panama. There's the Green Dream Project out in Arizona, living in the desert, showing you how to live in the desert and how to survive and thrive while you're doing so. There's Camping with Steve, Steve Wallace, another good guy, good channel, does stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch what he's doing. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time, has a great channel, and she's dealt with her share of adversity as well. She lost her husband to a car accident that affected not only him but her and her children, two of her children. So, but good channel, good information there as well. There is Boss of the Swamp. He's been around a long time. Good channel, good information there as well. Another awesome builder. To watch him build is really, really huge, really cool. Uh, there is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch project. Again, anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, anything like that, definitely check out Diamond. Very, very smart guy. A lot of good information on his channel. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Somebody else that says it like it is. I respect that. I really do. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer, another really good channel. A lot of good information talking about solar flares, all that type of stuff. Definitely worth a listen to. You have Bear Independent, the uneducated economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. She's giving you all the latest information about earthquakes, what's going on with Yellowstone, and that type of stuff as well. So definitely check her out. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, very passionate about the weather, but he also gives back in a big way to the community as well. So I got a lot of respect for him for that. There is Russell Brand. Russell Brand is another guy, gives you the information. He lets you decide what you want to do with it, and I think that's the way it should be done. That's just my opinion. Deep South Homestead, another really good family-friendly oriented channel, so definitely check them out as well. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel. There is Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend's. Townsend showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. I think that is a good thing. Definitely check them out as well. The Prepared Mind. He's been around for a long time as well. Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. Pinball's a good guy as well. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. Of course. Hold on one second, guys. Hey, Randy. Hey, listen. I'm right in the middle of a live stream. I'll be done in like 10 minutes. Lost it. I lost him. Uh-oh. You there? Can you hear me? Yeah. Listen. I'm finishing up a live stream. I'll be done in like 10 minutes. Let me call you back. All right. See you. It's a buddy of mine. Yeah, Randy's not here. Buddy of mine that I've known from New York for a long, long time. He now lives in Georgia, so I'll call him back afterwards. But that's why I answered. All right, so where was I? Pinball. Pinball's a good guy. Definitely check him out as well. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, the Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. Okay, So a lot of good channels. I know you guys are adding other channels in the chat as well, and that's perfectly fine. I can't give a shout out to everybody. I believe we should be supporting each other, so that's why I do the shout outs anyway. Uh, so we're at 236. Let's see if we can hit 250 on the thumbs up, guys. That's 14. We can do. We got 10 minutes. 14 thumbs up. Let's rock that out. Let's see if we can get that up to 250. I would appreciate that and thank you. And again, if you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. So, but anyway, real quick, and I said it in the very beginning of the stream, and I want to say it now before we get into the ending of everything that we're going to do. JJ, one of my number one moderator, has been more active than anybody else and really hammering on the trolls. JJ had a heart attack on Friday, and he is in the hospital right at the moment. And he is going to be having a triple bypass on Monday. So again, for all of you that are prayers, I would ask you to please pray for him. For people like myself, I will keep him in my thoughts. For those of you that are not religion, I would ask you also to please keep JJ in your thoughts as he goes under the knife tomorrow. So again, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm sure he does as well. So, but all right. So let us move on here. So what do we got? Seven more thumbs up, guys, to hit that 250 mark. So let's get that up there to 250, just because why not? All right. So um, we are legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We have Philip in Melbourne, Australia, Richard in Southwest Oklahoma, Franklin County, Ohio. We got Missouri with Brad in the house, Daniel in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Waterloo, New York, Northern Virginia with Robert, Oklahoma with Larry, Oklahoma, Nebraska, BC, Canada with Janet. We have Middle Tennessee with Java Mama, Dawn in the UP of Michigan, Addison, Illinois with Chicago Phil. Got Sean in Nebraska, Cheney in Indiana. Let's see, we have Northern Texas, East Central Illinois, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Dallas, Texas, we have Anderson, South Carolina. Let's see, Georgia in the mountains with Hakeem. Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Mexico's in the house with Indigo. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate that. Palm Bay, Florida's in the house. Campbell, Missouri with Antonio. East Tennessee. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. Central Iowa with Robert. Dust Devil coming from Texas. Northwest Florida with Cuban Nurse Prepper. Glad to have you here. Palatico, Idaho with Janita. Got Norway in the house with Viking Prepper. Glad you stayed up late with us. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania with Kathy. Greenville, South Carolina. I am the Arlington guy in Dallas. We got Cooper. We got Awesome Sauce coming from Connecticut. We got Dale from West Central Ohio. We got Jeff in Ohio. So again, guys, all over the country, all over the world. 3:12 a.m. in Norway. Wow. Yeah, I knew it was late over there. So I do appreciate you staying up late and watching us. That's awesome. Because I know the UK is 5-hour difference. So Cape Cod, Mass in the house. We got Michigan with Bubba 1. So again, guys, we're all over the place. All over the country, all over the world. Huge network of people, huge family. We should be, like I said, we're the ones that are awake, not woke, awake. We're the ones that can make a difference now by trying to wake people up to join us being awake and to be proactive to help themselves. But at the same time, when something does happen, we are the ones that truly can make a huge difference with people to be able to help them, to teach them, because there's going to be a lot of people that haven't got a clue, not a clue at all. And I see the examples of it all the time, which is scary. Very, very scary. I did want to say, had a wonderful get together this weekend with the members that were able to make it. We definitely missed the members that were not able to make it. We continue to add new people as well. So Marty is one of the newest people to the group. We have excuse me. We had new people last month that joined us, and I talked about them before as well. And so they were here again this month. And so we're putting together our family is what we're doing. We're putting together our family. It's coming together. We're working together. And even though it wasn't technically going to be a work weekend, we did do a little bit of work. We did do a lot of chilling out and relaxing as well, spending time with each other. Like this morning, normally on a Sunday morning, we eat 7 to 8, and then we work until 8 to noon, and then generally everybody goes home, and we just kind of hung out in the pavilion and had a nice breakfast and just kind of BS'd, and then people had to go and go on and do what they had to do. But it was a really nice weekend, and it was really enjoyable having everybody here. And is a couple from Panama in the U.S. from Panama, Florida? No, they're in Panama, the country Panama. Cuban nurse prepper. They're actually from like Maine. I think they're from up that way. I know he's from Maine. They're down living in the country of Panama, and they're a nice couple. I like their channel. I like their channel. And so they have Lola's Farm is what they call their homestead down there, and they're doing their thing, and it's pretty neat, But they're young, so good for them. I'll tell you what, if I could turn that clock back and be 25 and now, I would have something that was unbelievable. I'd actually go back to being 14, 15 again and know what I know now in trades. I absolutely would have been in the trades and had that skill because that would have definitely been better. Carpentry, plumbing, and all that type of stuff. I wish I had spent that time with my grandfather. So I really do. So that still owes us one free weekend. No, too much to do. Too much to do. So, but no, well, like I said, it was an enjoyable weekend having everybody here, and it was great. And so that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I see we blew through 250. We're at 253 and a thumbs up. So that's awesome. So we hit the goal. So I won't ask for anything higher because we're about done anyway. I want to thank my moderators who moderate for me, who do a fantastic job keeping the chat clean. It does really mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. Again, speedy recovery, JJ. Successful surgery tomorrow, hopefully for you, and get on the healing track, and that's a good thing. So, also, I want to thank all you guys for being here. I really appreciate the support on the channel. It's a lot of fun, and we're hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. And as we move forward and get more things done and make progression on the property, you get to be seeing us be more and more successful because that's what we're going to be. So anyway, remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever truly figure that out, we are going to be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us over race, religion, political affiliation. It's all nonsense. It means nothing. We're all human beings. You cut any one of us, we're going to bleed red, period. End of story. So, that's a fact. So let's treat each other with dignity and respect. One of the things like with nursing, I always said, I want to try to treat people the way that I would want somebody to treat my parents if they were in a nursing home. And so that's kind of, that needs to be the mindset. And that's what we should all be doing. So, but also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, You can do it. The only person that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. I hope you all have a great night. I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.